There were some issues yesterday from members of the crowd, alleged racial comments towards the Indian team. Mohammad Siraj was one of the players that said he'd heard some language and comments that were completely inappropriate. All right, looks like some action's going to be taken here.
Gav Joshi, thanks so much for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me on.
Gav, I'm really interested in this question. You know, when you see something like played out at the SCG, you hear about those racism allegations. What questions does that make you ask?
Well, it just asks where we, as an Australia, as a society, because, you know, here it is, India. We've just seen a terrific test match go ahead and we love the contest. But why is it that there's a couple of people out there who are putting out, racial slurs? I mean, all these allegations at the moment. But as an Australian who I've been here for 25 years, one question I really hate being asked, Stan, is Australia a racist country? And it's unfortunate that after the events of last couple of days at the SCG, I'm getting these messages, and that really disappoints me.
Well, let me ask you that. I mean, what does it say about the society? Because sadly, the allegations that have been made here have been made before, and they've been made at the SCG, and it's involved Indian teams before. So let me ask you that question. What does it say about a society, not just sport?
Well, I think Ravi Ashwin hit the nail on the head yesterday, and I think his comments were pretty strong. He said, I've been coming to Australia for 10 odd years, and we've been copying it from the Australian crowds. And that's what's disappointing. Like, here we are, there's so many sort of Indian heritage people now in Australia. So is it a way that, people don't look at sort of Indians in this country as part of Australian society? If they do, I think it's purely incorrect, because like I said, my experience is I have so much love for Australia. I consider myself a proud Australian. So you have to wonder what draws them to have those, go on that boundary line and say a few things to the Indian players. Is it out of frustration? What is it?
I'm interested too, Gav, as someone who writes about the game and you follow the game, as to how this was handled. Now, we know the allegations that were made. It wasn't just one day. They've been made on successive days here. I'm not going to repeat the slurs that were made. People would be aware of those, and they're beneath contempt. But immediately there are questions being asked now about whether the Indian players are telling the truth. Now there's an investigation into it as well. So what does this tell us about the way these things are handled?
Well, firstly, I think, Mohammad Siraj, the person who was in the forefront of this, I think he should be congratulated, because first thing I think we've realised in racism is that it needs to be brought into, the team management, and a complaint needs to be registered. And I think a guy playing in his second test match could have just walked away from it, but he didn't. So in terms of the way it's gone, I think the right channel has been done. Of course, it's disappointing, but I think Cricket Australia have done a fantastic job, and so has the Australian cricket team. Unfortunately, you can't control everything that happens beyond the boundary line, but they were very, very disappointed that it's happened to the visiting team.
Well, Gav, an extraordinary last day of the test. So let's look forward to the final one here and talk about the cricket, which has just been remarkable. Thank you, Gav.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me on.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.